Hi everyone, my name is deyaniracavazos and I am an LPC-associate from the state of Texas. I also own my own private practice called Co's Mental Health Services, and I make videos dedicated to other therapists in training. So I'm really excited because today I'm going to be taking you through the process of ordering some new books for myself as a therapist that I can recommend to my therapy clients, to you, to other therapists in training. All of that is possible because of you watching, subscribing, liking my videos. So thank you so much. So I'm going to be bringing you along for the process of ordering the books, talking you through all the books that I ended up getting. There is a total of 9. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of redo or reorganize and restyle my bookshelves behind me. So that is the view that my therapy clients see, the view that you all are seeing, a little bit more to that side, but pretty much. So let me roll the footage back to when I was first ordering all of the books and thinking about what I was even going to get. Hi everyone, so it is currently 7 p.m. It is Friday and I actually just got back from a date night with my husband. I'm sitting here on my living room couch with my laptop right here. I am going to sit down and pick out what books I want to go ahead and purchase. So I'm currently in a comfortable t-shirt because it is Friday night. I don't usually film for this channel around this time, but this is when I do like my little creative projects, or when I start them. It's usually nighttime and I work on things for a little bit. My budget is $100. Do the math, make sure the math is mathing so I can go ahead and figure out what books I want to go ahead and get, and I want to get a different range. So let's go ahead and start looking at the list. Okay, so this is the wish list that I ended up making on Amazon. So here are some of the books that I have. I'm really excited to read this book. That one's definitely going on the list. Some poetry, some YA, some children's books. This one I'm also really excited about, Decolonizing Trauma Work. It's Not Me. Definitely a long list. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to review these books for you all. Okay everyone, so welcome back to the present time. Let's go ahead and get into the haul, what I ended up picking up. And so the first two things I actually ended up getting from Target, and it is these bookends right here. So it is these black arch bookends, and I think they're very simple but also pretty stylish. I really like it, and I think it goes with the vibe or the aesthetic of my office. They're actually very heavy, definitely very sturdy. I have these in the bookshelf in my living room area and I really like them, so I thought I would get them for my therapy office. So we're gonna be using these. And then the other non-book related thing that I ended up getting off of Amazon are these highlighters. So it is these neutral pastel color highlighters. So we'll definitely test them out and see how they do. I'm really excited about these because I highlight the books that I get and annotate them so much. So this is gonna be really helpful. Okay everyone, so let's go ahead and get into the first book that I ended up purchasing, and it is Inheritance, a visual poem by Elizabeth Acevedo. The art is by Andrea Pippins, and it says, in her most famous spoken word poem, award-winning author and poet Elizabeth Acevedo celebrates the beauty and meaning of natural black hair, her words vibrantly illustrated by artist Andrea Pippins. This powerful book embraces all the complexities of Afro-Latinidad, the history, pain, pride, and powerful love of that inheritance. Some people tell me to fix my hair, and by fix they mean straighten, they mean whiten. But how do you fix the shipwrecked history of hair? And so as you can see, it is a very visual poem. So it's a quick, short read that I think would be nice for some clients because a lot of my clients do connect with poetry. And so you're definitely going to see a lot of books geared toward Latinas and Latinos in general, because that is the population that I work with. On to the next book, and that is Peace for Anxiety. So in here it says, a holistic approach to easing anxiety without hiding from the world's challenges. The roots of our anxiety, stress, and pain may feel complicated, but healing doesn't have to be. Hala Corey takes us on a journey to investigate our personal habits, transform what doesn't serve us, and build more deeply connected lives, even amidst chaos. Corey helps us understand how anxiety works in the body and shares practical strategies to better understand our body's signals, release stress, and stay present with discomfort. I'm really looking forward to reading this because a lot of the clients that I work with do struggle with anxiety, or they have an anxiety disorders. I tend to try to find books that are more diverse and that are written by POC authors, specifically also by Latina authors, because of the populations that I work with and trying to increase representation in those areas. Now, next up is a book that I feel is pretty popular, and I'm sure for good reason, so I'm really excited to read it, and that is My Grandmother's Hands. And this is by Resma Menakem, and hopefully I pronounced that right. Racialized trauma and the pathway to mending our hearts and bodies. The body is where our instincts reside and where we fight, flee, and freeze. My Grandmother's Hands is a call to action for Americans to recognize that racism is not only about the head, but also about the body. Menakem introduces an alternative view of what we can do to grow beyond our entrenched racialized divide and takes readers through a step-by-step healing process based on the latest neuroscience and somatic healing methods. And I feel like I've seen this book around a lot, so I'm really excited to finally get to read it. The cover is beautiful. Now, moving on to the next book. This is one that I have never heard of before. I had never seen, but I dug through the depths of the Amazon website to find this, and it's called It's Not Me. And this is by Annabelle Gonzalez. Understanding Complex Trauma, Attachment, and Disassociation. I still don't know if this is a book that is more to teach me or if it's something that I would recommend to my therapy clients. I'll definitely have to read through and see how I feel about it. But in the back it reads, the aspects of our personality that we reject tell us a very important story. The way in which we define who we are, our identity, is shaped by the significant relationships in our life. If we have a history of complex relationships, whether it be with our parents, romantic partners, or other significant figures, it can profoundly change the way we see ourselves. Our mind gets fragmented and a deep conflict arises within us, which sometimes consumes a large part of our energy and keeps us from living a life that is fully satisfying. I love this. Already, I love this because these are the type of conversations that I have with my clients. This is awesome. So this book, which is aimed at patients and family members of people who have been through adverse situations that fit with what we call complex trauma, will present and explain some of the psychological problems that these situations can produce. Snaps all around, because a lot of what me and my clients talk about is intergenerational trauma. So the next book is actually fiction. So again, if you're not familiar with my other videos, the reason why I also like recommending sometimes fiction books to some of my clients is because some of my clients culturally, yes, they do learn through self-help books, psychoeducational books, but sometimes they also learn through storytelling. That is a cultural factor within the Latina community. And so sometimes where there hasn't been this history of healing, we might not know what it looks like, what it feels like, what it could even be. And so being able to read a story of seeing a family go through that, or a main character go through that, and seeing them come out on the other side of that and what that could look like, the messiness that is healing, the ups and downs, being able to read stories like that with representation by other Latina authors to make sure that those stories are told properly in a way that does the culture justice is so important. And so the next book that I have to share with you all is called Big Chicas Don't Cry, and this is by Annette Chavez Macias, and the cover is stunning. I'm really excited to read this. Like, my Mexican heart just saw this cover and I was like, yes, The colors, I love it. So it reads, Familia is what you make it, even when life gets in the way. Cousins Mari, Erika, Selena, and Gracie are inseparable. They aren't just family, but best friends, sharing secrets, traditions, and a fierce love for their abuelita. But their idyllic childhood ends when Mari's parents divorce, forcing her to move away. With Mari gone, the girls' tight-knit bond unravels. 15 years later, as rocky as the cousins' lives have become, nothing can prepare them for the heartbreaking loss of a loved one. When tragedy reunites them, will they remember their abuelita's lesson about family and forgiveness, or 15 years of separation too much to overcome? So again, I am going to have to read this first to see if it's something that I want to recommend to clients, because I want to make sure that healing and family is addressed in a way that would be helpful to my client's journey. So for example, if I were to read something like put family above all else, above your own needs, instead of something like, hey, during the healing journey, it is important to also take care of yourself. And I'm looking for those mental health related topics within fictional books that I read. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. But I've heard excellent things about this, so I'm just really excited to read it. The next book that I have to share with you all is called I Am Diosa. And this is written by Christine Gutierrez, a journey to healing deep, loving yourself, and coming back home to soul. In I Am Diosa, Christine Gutierrez welcomes women to join her in healing the wounds from past hurt or trauma to reclaim their worth and come back home to their true self and soul. In Decolonizing Trauma Work, Renee Linklater explores healing and wellness in Indigenous communities on Turtle Island, drawing on a decolonizing approach which puts the soul wound of colonialism at the center. Linklater engages 10 Indigenous healthcare practitioners in a dialogue regarding Indigenous nations of wellness and holistic health, critiques of psychiatry and psychiatric diagnosis, and Indigenous approaches to helping people through trauma, depression, and experiences of parallel and multiple realities. Linklater offers purposeful and practical methods to help individuals and communities that have experienced trauma. This one has been in my cart for months, over a year, I'm pretty sure. And so the next book that I have for you is this one right here. And so this is For Brown Girls with Sharp Edges and Tender Hearts by Prisca Dorcas Mojica Rodriguez. For generations, brown girls have had to push against powerful forces of sexism, racism, and classism, often feeling alone in the struggle. In her book, leading Latina activist Prisca Dorcas Mojica Rodriguez gathers a community and offers a liberating path forward for all women of color. How can brown girls survive and thrive in aspects that were never built for them? What does it mean to decolonize one's worldview? Chapter by chapter, Mojica Rodriguez crafts powerful new ways to address challenges from colorism to imposter syndrome. She turns around her learned shame about her brownness and chooses to recast her story. Instead of feeling grateful for the white volunteers who traveled to help her in Nicaragua, she now understands their connections to a history of exploitation that created her childhood poverty in the first place. Instead of feeling the need to disguise her differences to gain acceptance in American universities, she arms herself with dresses and tattoos that boldly declare her identity. This is so beautiful already. I'm really excited. In the end, she gives readers access to the stories and insights that changed her life, fueled her activism. And so the last book is one that I am still waiting for, so I do not have with me, but it is this one right here, and it is a poetry book by a Latina author, and I'm really excited to read it. My clients really connect with poetry, so I've been looking to really get into this author's poetry. So if you definitely want to continue to see more updates on what I'm currently reading, eventually I'll do an overall review of all the books together, just like the first one that I did. So if you haven't watched that, definitely go check it out. Tune into my therapist in the life vlogs, and I'll definitely bring you along for the journey of reading through those books. Hi everyone, so it is a new day. I have my headphones here with me. It's time to go ahead and restyle and organize the new books on my shelves. So we have to go ahead and take everything down. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some good music on, and we can go ahead and do that together.
To the place, dispatch you from a race. My heart, it started racing. face and then I'm from the 80s. Someone keeps blocking my way. I can't feel farther away. Wait on a moment to say that I want you. You know that I want you.
I actually really like this little setup here, and I love some things placed already, so that way I can go ahead and just set my books in between, because I like where the plants are right now and certain picture frames. So I'm gonna go ahead and play around with it. So currently this is what I have to work with. So I kind of like the color coordination because all of these books are pretty much the same genre other than specifically self-help and some being fiction. So I like that I can kind of color coordinate things for this bookshelf, so that's what I'm thinking of doing. So I put things in different color piles that make me pretty happy, and I'll still play around with it. Now these books are going to be going on this shelf here. Was on your face and then I'm from the 80s. Someone keeps blocking my way. I can't feel farther away. Wait on to say that I want you. You know that I want you. Across the road. Across the road. Lost and in a daze, I caught your sudden gaze, and time it started racing. But moments tend to fade, and you're too far away from me to get my name in. Someone keeps blocking my way. I can't feel further away. Wait on a moment to say that I want you. You know that I want you. Okay everyone, so this is the final result of my bookshelf makeover, and I love it so much. Definitely such an exciting moment. And so the plan is that eventually I will put more books up on this right hand corner, so that space will be nice and filled. But for now, this is what it looks like, and I can't believe it. So I really did want to front face some books, and probably here I'll add a stack just laying horizontally, but we'll definitely see. And I think long term I would like to add another shelf down here just to expand it if I ever get more books, and that way when I'm sitting down my clients also get to see some books down here, because that top shelf doesn't really come out when I am meeting with clients. But yeah, that is what it looks like. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Take care everyone, and I will go ahead and see you in my next video.